some of your guys from your coaching tree quite active in not just coaching, but trying to win a Super Bowl this year. And I'd love to start, if you don't mind, with Mike Zimmer, since he's the one who bounced his offensive coordinator with 3 games to go. I'm wondering what you think the challenges of that are going to be for a 6-6-1 team with a new quarterback this year and obviously a new play caller for the last 3 games.
Well, I think these kinds of things are difficult to do at best, and I'm pretty sure that it was just something that wasn't working, and Mike probably didn't want to forego the season, and he wanted to try to do something about it now, and if right now they're still in I think the wild card slot. Mm-hmm. If they could win 3 games, I think that would ensure them a playoff, and then of course you're starting over. So I think he thought that it was worthwhile to try to do something. And I don't know the inner workings of it, but I'm sure there was something that wasn't satisfactory, or he wouldn't have done it.
So what is the challenges, do you think, for the last 3 weeks? Or do you think that could actually work to their advantage, that other teams can't scout them? They don't know what's coming, potentially.
Well, I think probably the people that are still there, I don't think the offense will change appreciably, but I think they'll try to maybe put a little more emphasis in a couple of areas that they've been deficient in, and take a look at themselves and see what they exactly think they can do. They should know that pretty much by this time of the season, but anytime you make change, there's a little uncertainty, particularly on your game day management. And you have a new play caller, he's how much is the head coach involved, and he'll be involved, I'm sure. So that's some of the challenges. More so, I think, the game day management.
Bill Parcells, Hall of Famer, here on the Rich Eisen Show. When's the first time you met Sean Payton, and what'd you see in him?
You know something? That's a really good question. The first time I ever met him is when we flew together to Dallas to go to the Cowboys. I had never met him in person before that. I had talked to him several times over the phone, and I hired him over the phone.
Over the phone? What did you? Yeah. I guess what'd you hear in him then to say, okay, that's one of the guys.
First of all, he'd been with the Giants, and I have, at that point, I had quite a few reference points with some of the people that I'd interacted with the Giants, and they had very good things to say about him, and particularly some people that I was close to with the Giants thought he was a good young coach, and just a circumstance there that happens to some young coaches from time to time, but they thought he had good potential, and they were right.
Well, I certainly were, and he seems to me as old school throwback as they come, and yet he has absolutely gone with the flow, if you will, these days with offenses and what to do, and having an old warhorse at quarterback in this day and age where you need one of those young kids on a first contract, it seems, so you could pay all the other guys around him. What he's been able to do is truly something else. I'm wondering how much do you think the experience from Dallas or other experiences are playing into all of this?
Oh, I think he's one of the most tenured coaches in the league now. And your experience can do nothing but help you. And I remember having a discussion with him a few years back that from his championship team, he was going to have to recycle pretty much completely, other than his quarterback, which is fortunate. And that's what he's been able to do. He's been able to put new linemen, new defensive players, new secondary players, new receivers, new runners, and it's been a great transition for him, and it's allowed him to continue to be very, very strong offensively. And Sean is he's old school, I think, in terms of how he wants his team to behave, but he's very open-minded and about the future and new ideas and things like that. He likes those things and enjoys implementing them, and if he feels like his team can execute them.
What happens if, let's just say, Sean Payton and the Saints take on Bill Belichick and the Patriots in the Super Bowl? just the X's and O's and just on these guys, what type of game do you think we'd see? Because it sure looks like we could get that with Breeze and potentially. And
well, that would be very exciting. I think you see the two dynamic pass offenses, and probably, New England's always going to have a good kicking game. Bill puts a lot of emphasis on that, and I think Sean's got a couple of good special teams players down there. That Payton Hill, he's done some things for him, and so I think it'll be very interesting. But again, it goes back to who can stop who the most times, and I think that's what it would be. I think it'd be a very exciting Super Bowl, and that would be okay with me as well.
Okay. Yeah, you're just watching two of your guys, I guess, in a way, former assistants go at it right there.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.